Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something I think, well, pretty much everyone feels at some point. Why life can just feel hard, really challenging sometimes.
Yeah,
And more importantly, how you can navigate those struggles and maybe, just maybe, come out stronger.
absolutely. We've looked at some great material that really digs into why things feel tough.
And gives us some actual strategies, right? Not just theory.
Exactly, actionable stuff. Because
Mhm.
feeling like you're constantly hitting roadblocks, it's isolating.
It really is.
But these sources show, feeling like life is hard. It's kind of fundamental. It's
Yeah.
human.
Okay, so our mission today, let's say, is to unpack why it feels that way.
Right, and give you tools, not just to cope, but to actually build that resilience,
Yeah.
to grow.
Okay, let's dig in. One of the first big reasons, it seems, it boils down to our expectations.
Expectations,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have these ideas, sometimes we don't even voice them, about how things should go. Career, relationships, just daily life.
Mhm.
And when reality, doesn't match up.
Oof, yeah. It hits hard. It feels like a bigger deal than maybe it is sometimes.
Is it more than just being disappointed?
I think so. Some of the material mentions this optimism bias.
Okay.
It's this tendency we have to think positive things are more likely to happen to us and negative things
Mm.
less likely.
Ah, right. So we expect the smooth path.
Kind of, yeah.
Yes.
Subconsciously, we expect the job promotion to happen easily or the relationship to be smooth sailing.
And when it's not.
It feels worse because it clashes so much with that perhaps overly rosy picture we started with.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. We're kind of setting ourselves up without realizing it.
In a way, yes.
And then, speaking of things not going to plan, just the sheer amount of change we deal
Oh,
with.
definitely. That's huge.
New jobs, moving house, relationships shifting, even just big global stuff happening all the time.
Right. Constant adaptation.
It's exhausting, isn't it? Emotionally
It
taxing.
really is. And if you think about how our brains work, dealing with new things, disruptions,
Yeah.
it actually uses up a lot of cognitive resources.
Okay.
Your prefrontal cortex, the planning, thinking part of the brain, it has to work overtime.
So even a good change, like a promotion you wanted.
Exactly. It can still feel draining just because it's new. It demands that extra mental effort to adjust routines, learn new things.
Which flows right into the next point. Uncertainty.
A big one.
Not knowing what's coming. I mean, who really does know, ever?
Yeah.
But that lack of predictability.
It's a major source of anxiety. Our sources really emphasize that the brain craves stability. It wants to know what's next.
I meant when it doesn't.
Life feels unsettled. Like you said, that kind of low hum of worry.
Yeah.
Uncertainty really highlights what we can't control, fundamentally. We try to plan, we try to anticipate.
But you can't plan for everything.
Nope. And that ambiguity, the unknown future, it can actually trigger our threat response system.
Ah, the amygdala.
Precisely. That part of the brain linked to fear, anxiety, it gets more active, so you feel stressed, uneasy.
Okay. Expectations change, uncertainty, and then there's comparison.
Oh boy.
Especially now with everything online, social media, it has its upsides, sure, but
It's often this curated highlight reel, isn't it?
totally. Everyone's best moments, best pictures.
And it's so easy to compare your own, behind the scenes messiness
Huh. Yeah, my reality.
to their polished online version.
And you just feel lacking,
Yeah.
inadequate.
Yeah. And there's actually theory behind this social comparison theory. We naturally figure out how we're doing by looking at others.
Makes sense.
But online, we're usually comparing upwards to people who seem to be doing better, or at least presenting that way.
Right. Not the full picture.
Not at all. And that constant upward comparison could really chip away at your self-esteem. It gives you this warped idea of what's normal or achievable.
Okay, wow. So those are some pretty solid reasons why life can feel genuinely difficult.
They really are.
But here's maybe the most crucial takeaway, I think, from everything we looked at.
What's that?
It is absolutely okay to struggle.
Yes. So important.
It doesn't mean you're failing or you're weak. It's just part of being human.
Yeah, it really is. And actually, if you think about resilience, it's often during the hard times that we build it.
Right, when you're pushed.
Exactly.
Mm.
Struggles push you out of your comfort zone. They make you learn new skills, find strength you didn't know you had.
Like a forging metal in fire.
That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Adversity can be like a crucible. It shapes you, makes you stronger for the next challenge.
And you often find out you're more capable than you thought. The sources also talked about the shared humanity aspect.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Just realizing that everyone faces challenges. Even people who look like they have it all together, they have their own stuff.
Totally.
And knowing that can make you feel less isolated in your own difficulties.
It's so validating. It fosters empathy, too, for yourself and for other people.
Right.
When you get that struggle is universal, it helps break down that shame or isolation that often comes with hitting a rough patch.
Okay. So life is hard sometimes. That's normal. It's okay.
Step 1, acknowledge that.
Right. So now, the practical bit. How do we actually navigate these times? How do we grow from them?
Okay, strategies. Let's get into it.
First one up is shifting your perspective. What does that actually mean day to day?
It means consciously trying to change how you're looking at a tough situation. It's an active reframing.
So not just pretending it's fine.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. It's about looking beyond the immediate negativity. Instead of seeing a setback as just, a disaster,
Yeah.
you actively look for, okay, what's the lesson here? Is there an opportunity for growth somehow?
Asking yourself questions.
Yeah, like what can I actually learn from this? Or how might this make me stronger or more prepared down the line?
So choosing a more constructive story about what's happening.
Exactly. Like, say, losing a job. Awful feeling.
Yeah.
But the reframe could be, okay, this is also a chance to explore that other career path I was curious about.
Finding the potential upside, even if it's small.
Precisely. Even when it feels overwhelmingly negative.
Okay, I like that. Actively looking. Next strategy. Take small steps. This feels super relevant when things feel huge and overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely essential. When you're facing something massive, it's easy to just freeze up, feel paralyzed.
Totally. Where do you even start?
Right. So breaking it down, decompose that big scary thing into smaller, much more manageable tasks.
Cut-sized pieces.
Exactly. Then you can focus just on what you can do right now, today.
And that makes it feel less daunting.
Way less daunting. It creates a sense of moving forward, even if it's just a tiny bit. Builds momentum, builds confidence.
Like climbing a mountain, you don't stare at the summit the whole time.
Perfect analogy. You focus on placing your next footstep. That's all you need to worry about in that moment.
Okay, small steps. Makes sense. Next one.
This is something I think, most of us need more of. Self-compassion. Big one.
What is it really?
And it's hard. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd give a good friend who is struggling.
Instead of beating yourself up.
Exactly. Acknowledge the struggle. Acknowledge the difficulty without that harsh inner critic jumping in.
So recognizing mistakes happen, challenges happen to everyone.
Yes. It's about being gentle with yourself, supportive, especially when you feel like you've messed up or fallen short.
Is it different from self-pity?
Oh, very different.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Self-pity can be quite passive, focusing on woe is me. Self-compassion is active. It's about taking a supportive stance toward yourself, like being your own ally.
Being your own ally. I like that. Okay, next strategy. This one can be surprisingly hard for people. Reaching out for support.
Yeah. We often feel like we should handle everything ourselves, like it's a weakness to ask for help.
Right, that pressure to be self-sufficient.
But it's often a misconception. We're social creatures. Going through hard times alone often just makes the stress worse.
True.
Talking to someone you trust, friend, family, maybe a therapist, it provides emotional backup. It gives you different perspectives.
Sometimes just saying it out loud helps.
Hugely. Sharing the burden literally makes it feel lighter. It reminds you you're not isolated in this.
Okay. Seek support. Don't go it alone.
And the last strategy we pulled out, celebrating progress.
Yes. Even the small wins.
It's easy to focus only on the big end goal, isn't it? And overlook the journey.
Totally. We get so fixated on the finish line. But acknowledging even tiny steps forward, hey, I did that hard thing today, that reinforces the positive action.
Keeps you motivated.
Definitely. It helps maintain motivation, builds that resilience muscle. It's about recognizing your effort and the fact that you are moving, even if it feels slow.
Just acknowledging forward movement.
Yeah. It's a reminder that you can make progress.
Okay, these are great. To kind of bring it home, the material had a personal story.
Yeah, the career slump example.
Right. Someone hitting a real low point at work, overwhelmed, deadlines, self-doubt. Sounds familiar, probably, to a lot of people.
Very relatable. And what was key in that story was the turning point.
What was it? The person started making a daily list. But not huge goals. Really small, achievable things for that day.
Connecting back to the small steps idea.
Exactly. It wasn't some magic bullet overnight fix. It was just consistently tackling those manageable little tasks.
Then what happened?
Gradually, step by step, they started to feel more in control again. Confidence started to creep back.
Slowly building back up.
It wasn't fast, but it was steady. And the big takeaway there seems to be just the power of breaking things down.
And patience, maybe. Being patient with yourself.
Absolutely. Patience and that self-compassion piece we talked about. It really highlights how effective those small steps are and how crucial it is to be kind to yourself when things are tough. Progress is often gradual.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've talked about some core reasons life feels hard, those expectations we have,
The unspoken ones,
the constant churn of change,
always adapting,
the discomfort of uncertainty,
not knowing what's next.
and that trap of comparison, especially online.
Yeah, the highlight reel effect.
But maybe the biggest thing is just acknowledging it, saying, yeah, this is hard right now. That's the first step.
Crucial first step.
And then we have these tools, these strategies,
Yeah.
shifting how you look at things,
Finding the learning,
breaking big problems into small, doable steps,
focusing on the next step,
practicing actual kindness towards yourself,
being your own ally,
reaching out, not trying to white-knuckle it alone,
sharing the load,
and celebrating every bit of progress, patting yourself on the back.
recognizing the effort.
Yeah,
And it's just so vital to remember, facing these things, struggling.
Yeah.
It's not a personal failing. It's universal. It's part of being human.
right.
Using these strategies, taking it slow, being kind to yourself, getting support that's not weakness, that shows real strengths, real resilience.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away. Think about a time in your own life, a real struggle you went through. But looking back now, you can see it actually led to some significant growth for you. What did you learn from that? What specific skills maybe or insights did that tough time give you?
Mining the past for wisdom.
Exactly. And then how could you maybe bring those lessons, that strength you found then, into whatever challenges you might be facing right now?
That's a really good reflection exercise.
Definitely something worth mulling over. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.